Hey everyone, welcome into Unit 8, Day 11 notes. Today we're going to be focusing on factoring quadratic trinomials when a does not equal 1. So far we've been focusing on when a equals 1, and now a, or the coefficient of the first term, will be something or can be something other than 1, which is going to add another layer to um, our factoring puzzle. So our intention is that students will be able to factor quadratic trinomials when a does not equal 1 with 80% accuracy. Okay, so when the value of a does not equal 1, we use the following steps to help factor. In this first example, we can see that a, which I'm going to now use blue for, color coding, a is not 1, it's 2. We're used to it being 1 every single time, or finding a GCF and then it being 1. Speaking of GCF, we need to check, is there a GCF? So there is no number that goes into 2, 7, and 6 other than 1, and then there is no variable that each term shares. So there is no GCF. Again, we need to continue checking for GCF every single time. Okay, so step 1, when a does not equal 1, we want to find all of the positive factors of a. Switching back to blue. All the positive factors of a. So we do not want the negative factors. In this case, our a equals 2. Our factors of a, our positive factors of a will be 2 and 1. So we do not want to also consider -2 and -1. We only want the positive factors. So for our first step, we have our little outline that we're going to set up. And this is where this information goes. So when a is something other than 1, we place those factors in front of our variable term, x. So we have 2x and 1x. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next step. Step 2, find all the factors of the constant c. So in this case, c, I'm underlining it up top here, is +6. So we want all the factors of +6. We have experience doing this. It's +1, +6, +2, +3. We also have -1, -6, -2, -3. So for A, we do not look for the negative factors, but for C, we're going to still find all of the possible factors. Okay? So now in this situation, because our middle term, let me switch over to red, our middle term is a positive number, and our constant c is positive, we are not interested in our negative factors. Okay, and again, if this is a strategy that you're still not too confident with, you can try all the different factors, but it just extends that process a little bit, but that's okay because we are better off getting it correct and taking a little extra time. So in this situation, we're going to set this back up. We have 2x, and then we have 1x. Okay, all set up just like we had in the previous box, but now we're looking to place one of those factors, one of those pairs of factors in that second spot in each set of parentheses, so that purple spot that I've underlined. Now, the additional challenge to factoring when a does not equal 1 is that order matters. So if we place and we choose factors 1 and 6, and we say +1 and +6, that's going to get us a different result than if we do +6 and +1. So order now matters when a does not equal 1. So it kind of doubles the amount of factors we have, because we have +1 and +6 gives us a result, and then flipping that, +6 and +1 will give us another result. So through our process here, when a does not equal 1, we're going to use a method called guess and check. So if we take a look, we're using our guess method. So we're going to guess, and we're going to guess a set of factors and plug it in, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we're going to try another set of factors. So in this case, let's just go ahead and start off with the first set of factors that we have. So I'm going to guess factors 1 and 6. Okay, so let's place that into our parentheses here. We have our little outline that we have set up. I'm going to try and continue color coding this best as I possibly can. So we have positive 1 and positive 6 is the first guess that we have. All right, so now to check, right, it's our method called guess and check. We've guessed. Now we're going to check by double distributing to see if we get back to where we originally started. So we 2x times 1x gives us 2x squared. 2x times 6 gives us 12x. 1 times 1x gives us 1x. And then 1 times 6 gives us 6. If we simplify this, 2x squared plus 13x plus 6. Okay, so we've just checked our first guess. And we scroll back up to the top and we see that, oh, well, that b term has a positive 7 that we're looking to get. And when we did our checking, we got a positive 13. So that being said, 1, 6 does not work. Now, again, it could be flipped 6, 1. We're going to get a different result, but let's go ahead and try and guess 2 and 3. So our next guess, I'm going to say 3 and 2. And again, order is going to matter. So when I go ahead and place this up here, we have, again, our outline that I'm setting up. We have this first being 2, the second being 1, and then we are trying positive 3, positive 2. Okay, so we double distribute. 2x times 1x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 gives us 4x. 3 times 1 gives us 3x. And 3 times 2 gives us 6. We combine like terms. 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. And there we have it. We got to 7x. So if we scroll back up to the top, we got back to where we started. So therefore, our correct answer is this. This is the answer we're looking for. 2x plus 3 times 1x plus 2. Okay, let's try a few more examples together. Practice factoring when a does not equal 1. First step, is there a GCF? And there is no GCF. No number goes into 5, 9, and 4 other than 1. And there is no variable across all of our terms that's consistent. So there's nothing for us to divide out. So no GCF. Now, we recognize again, that's what we're learning today. A equals 5. So we want factors of 5, 5, and 1. Again, we only want the positive factors of 5. And then we're going to go ahead on the right side, and we're going to list our factors of C, which will be 1 and 4, 2 and 2, negative 1, negative 4, negative 2, negative 2. So I just want to stress this is we need to guess and check. We can no longer go through the method of, okay, which of our factors of C are going to add to that middle term B. So we can no longer do that when A does not equal 1. We have to use this guess and check method. Okay, so if we take a look and use that strategy I was discussing before, we see that, okay, we have a positive 4. So we're looking for our factors are going to be both positive or both negative, which we see by all the factors we have listed out. But now we're looking for a positive 9. And we know that two negative numbers will never be able to add to a positive 9. So we can eliminate those options, which really cuts our work in half if we end up getting unlucky and having to guess through every single option. So our first guess, let's see, I'm going to guess 1 and 4. That's our first set of factors, so let's just try it. 1 and 4. So we have our outline. Again, trying to keep this color coded for you all. So we have 5 and 1, just so you can see where our factors are going. And we guessed positive 1, positive 4. So let's check it. Double distribute. 5x times 1x, 5x squared. 5x times 4 gives us 20x. Then we get 1x plus 4. Combine like terms. 5x squared plus 21x plus 4. And we see we did not get back to where we started. Yes, we have the 5x squared, and yes, we have the 4, but we need a positive 9 in the middle. And we ended up getting a positive 21. So that's not going to work. All right, so now we have to guess all over again. Give us a little bit more room. So guess 2. Let's go ahead and try flipping them, right? 4 and 1. So instead of 1 and 4, just to show you, right, let's see what happens if we flip them. We're sticking with our same 5x and 1x because those are the only positive factors of 5. So we have 5 and 1. And again, we are trying the flipped version. Positive 4, positive 1. So we double distribute. 5x times x, 5x squared. Plus 5x. 4 times 1x is 4x. And 4 times 1 is 4. Combine like terms. 5x squared plus 9x plus 4. And, sorry, I circled that. That's not our answer, but we did get back to where we originally started. So therefore, this is the correct answer, our final answer. We guessed correctly with 4 and 1. And as you can see, when we flip the order between 1 and 4 and 4 and 1, we get a different result for B. So flipping does make a difference, and order does matter. All right, let's go ahead and try number 2. So we always check for a GCF. And in this case, again, there is no GCF. No number goes into 3, 10, and negative 8 other than 1. And they do not share a variable. So no GCF. All right. A is 3. So factors of 3. 3 and 1. Factors of negative 8. What we're looking for next. We have negative 1, 8. Negative 2, 4. We have 1, negative 8. 2, negative 4. Okay. So let's go ahead and try finding all of the different possibilities here with our guess and check. So we are going to guess, let's guess negative 1 and 8, right? That's our first option, negative 1 and 8. Now I'm going to show us a quicker method of checking this time. So we have x, our a term, our factors 3 and 1. And our guess is negative 1, positive 8. So here's my method for guessing a little bit quicker. We go ahead and multiply the middle two terms and multiply the outside terms. When we do that, those are the combination of factors that are going to be like terms in the end. And we're going to add those together. So this is just checking that middle term. So negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1x. 3 times 8, 24x. If we add those together, we get 23x. And we're looking for 10. So these factors don't work. I call this method the smiley face because it looks like we're drawing a couple smiley faces, and because we're always so happy to do some factoring. So let's try it one more time. Let's guess. This time, let's go down the list and let's try negative 2, 4. Okay, so we have our setup. We still have 3 and 1. All right, our guess is -2, +4. And let's do our smiley face method here. So we multiply the middle two terms and then the outside two terms. When we multiply the middle two terms, we get -2x, and the outside two terms, we get 12x. When we add those together, we get 10x. So that's what we were looking for. This is our correct answer. All right, let's go ahead to the next page, backside, and check out number 3. So for number 3, we check. There is no GCF. No number goes into 2, -5, -3. And we go ahead and check for factors of 2. 2 and 1, only the positive factors. And then factors of -3, which gives us 1, -3, or -1, +3. And again, we have the flipped versions of all those to try as well. All right, so our guess. Let's try 1 and -3. Let's go with that first one. See if that works. 1, -3. So we have 2x. We get that 2 from there. And then 1x. Now our guess is +1, -3. Let's try our smiley face method. So 1 times 1x is 1x. 2 times -3 is -6. If we add those together, we get -5x, which is what we were looking for. So we guessed correctly on the first try. That's awesome. That saves us some extra time there. So it's nice. It's always nice to guess correctly on the first try. All right, let's go ahead and try number 5. Is there a GCF? There is no GCF again, but again, we always need to double check and make sure. This time, A is 6. So our positive factors consist of 6 and 1 and 3 and 2. So there are multiple options for A, which adds to the number of options and guesses and checks that we could possibly have. So if we start off with our factors for 3, we have 1 and 3, -1, -3. So this is nice because, again, if we think back about that previous strategy we talked about, because we have a positive number for C, our factors have to both be negative or both positive. If we're looking to get to a negative number, then we can ignore the positive factors. So technically, our factors for 3 that we're looking at is -1, -3, and -3, -1. So we have 2 sets of factors for 3, 2 sets of factors for 6. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So we kind of have 2 guesses to look at this time. Let's start with trying 6 and 1. So we have 6x, 1x. And let's guess -3, -1, just to give it a go. So -3, -1. Smiley face check. -3 times 1 is -3x. 6 times -1 is -6x. If we add those together, we get -9x. So we're close. We're trying to get to -11. So that doesn't work. So let's erase, or I'm going to erase. And -3, -1 did not work. So let's now go ahead and maybe flip it. Try -1 and -3. So -1, -3. We do our smiley face. We get -1x. And then we get -18x. Well, -1 and plus -18 is -19x. Again, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for -11. So that doesn't work either. So if neither of our options worked with factors of 6 and 1, it doesn't mean it's prime yet. We need to go ahead and go back and check our factors 3 and 2. All right, so let's give it another go. Let's guess -1, -3. Okay, so we have -1, -3. We do our smiley face check. -1 times 2x is -2x. 3 times -3 is -9x. And then we add those together, we get -11x. So that's what we were looking for. So this is our answer. That's how we factor 6x squared minus 11x plus 3. So you can see with the number of options that we have, as that increases the number of times that we may have to guess and check. Okay, number 7, GCF. There is no GCF again. Let's go ahead and take a look. Factors for A. This time is nice. We only have one set of factors for A, so we know it's going to be 7x and 1x. Now we need factors of 12. So let's work smarter, not harder here. Because we know C is positive, again, our factors have to both be negative or both be positive. If our middle term, B, is negative, then we can ignore the positive factors and focus on the negative factors. That really cuts our number of factors that we have to guess and check with in half. And 12 has a decent amount of factors. So we have -1, -12, -2, -6, -3, and -4. And then we have the flipped versions of those, right? We can flip them around. So let's see, our first guess. Let's try -3 and -4. So -3, -4. Check our smiley face method. -3x, -28x. Well, when we add those together, we get -31x. So we got the correct answer on our first guess. So go ahead, try the next couple problems. There's 3 of them. You might need some scratch paper to have extra room to check your factors, to do your guess and check. So make sure you have that on hand just in case. Otherwise, we'll see you back in a little bit. All right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and check our answers to 4, 6, and 8. So for 4, we have factors of A are 5 and 1. And then factors of 2 can be 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. And notice how I did not write down our negative factors because of that strategy I talked about before. If our term for C is positive, then both of our factors need to be positive or both of them have to be negative. If we're trying to get to a positive number, we can ignore the negative factors and focus on the positive factors. So our first guess was 1, 2, and then as you can see, it added to 11x, which is not what we were looking for. We were looking for 7x. So then I flipped it and I tried 2, 1 because order matters when A does not equal 1. And we got 7x, and that's what we needed for that middle term. So that's our answer. Number 6, again, no GCF. Our factors for 3 are 3 and 1. Again, we only want the positive factors of A. Factors of 6, 1, 6, and 2, 3, or -1, -6, -2, -3. Same strategy. Both of our factors need to be positive. Both of them need to be negative. And we are trying to get to a negative number. So I've crossed off those positive factors to eliminate the number of possible guesses I could have. Can really save you some time. So we have 3x minus 2 and x minus 3. My first guess, -2 times -3 is +6. So those are the ones I guessed with first. If we go through our smiley face method, we see we get -2x and -9x when we multiply to find our middle term. And we get -11x, which is what we're looking for. So that's our answer. Last one, number 8. Again, no GCF. Still got to make sure we always check for that GCF. This one's got a little bit more difficulty because A is 4, and 4 has factors 4 and 1 and 2 and 2. I chose to go with 2 and 2 first because if we have 2x and 2x in our parentheses when we're factoring, the order doesn't matter because we have that same first term in each of the parentheses. So flipping the order doesn't matter. So it's really going to cut down on the number of guesses, and we could guess right, which I did, right? I guess 7, 9 first, and we multiply the 7 and the 2x, and we get, oops, that should be 14. I switched these around. So we have, this should be 14x, and then this should be 18x. And when we add those together, we get 32x, which is what we were looking for. Okay, so really, really, really make sure to take your time when going through factoring, especially when a does not equal 1. Great job. Please make sure you reach out to your teacher if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great day. Peace out.